Hi, you guys. This is Yarn Hellions episode 27, I think. I think we're on 27. It might be 28. We are the Yarn Hellions. I'm Christine Parker. I finally decided on my title. I'm a surface graphic and knitting designer.
Oh, I like surface.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Sarah Flynn. She's a yarn dyer and a librarian. We are from Cleveland, Ohio. We have a fun episode today. We are going to tell you about the one-skein make-along that we have planned for you to start using up at least one skein in your stash. So we'll go over that in a little bit. Anything new to share, Sarah?
I was talking to you a little bit about, I finished a really big order, which I can't talk about, but it will be revealed in May who it's for. And it was just a lot of work on top of my regular job. It just took up at like every extra minute. And it was nice to do because I hadn't done something that big before, but it really wiped me out. So I have not done a regular shop update in a while, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to be working on doing that. And just like kind of adjusting the business, especially after that. I took a few weeks off and had like whole weekends where I didn't die for like 8 or 10 hours and especially I work like every other Saturday pretty much, so like then I would die on a Sunday for like 8 hours, and then during the week I'd be like, well, I don't have any laundry, any groceries, nothing's done, why am I stressed and eating like crap and sleeping terribly? And so I kind of like the last few weeks like putting it together, like oh, this might not be like the greatest way to do this.
Maybe not sustainable.
The plan is to do smaller. I don't have any, besides Imagine That and More, which is the quilt shop in West Park, which bought some of my yarn. And we're going to do they do some knit nights that I'm going to go to, and I'll post about that.
Oh, fun. And
they're just excited to have yarn and really great. So besides like some orders I'm doing for them for some of their upcoming projects, I don't have any wholesale orders, so I think I'm going to do smaller like batches and just do online shop updates and like manage my time a little better so I have me time. And
so important.
I do much better. I get home late enough on the weeknights, and I've been taking the train, so I get home like closer to 7. By the time I like take care of the dogs, like I'm not cooking, and I'm not like a cook that it comes easily to anyway. So I've been meal prepping on Sundays, and that's been amazing. Like to come home and there's something you just have to microwave.
That's amazing.
It's the best. So I'd like to keep that up. So I think that's the plan, is to do like smaller shop updates. I applied for the Comic-Con that's coming to, it used to be WizardCon, but they got bought, and now it's the Fan Expo, which would be at the convention center downtown the last weekend in April. I have not got accepted, so we'll see what they think about yarn. So if I do get accepted, I'll have to dye up some stuff for that. And then Great Lakes would be Memorial Day weekend, which will be my show after that. Kentucky I had applied to, but it's the weekend before Great Lakes, and that's tough, like back to back. It's a lot of driving, and it used to be like the first or second week in May, and like if there's a little time in between, it's okay. So those are the only two I have coming up. So yeah,
I can't I'm like, oh, Great Lakes, it's almost time for Great Lakes again. Like it's always Memorial Day weekend, and here we are, like tomorrow is St. Patty's Day. And it's like 70 degrees outside right now, and it's just surprising to me that like we're thinking about spring all of a sudden.
Yeah, and sometimes St. Patty's Day is like 20 degrees, so it's really bizarre.
Right, I mean, yeah, we've had snow on St. Patrick's Day. Have you heard, okay, we were talking about this in my Discord server. One of our patrons, Megan, she's from Ireland, and she's like, you guys, Irish Twitter is like freaking out about this. We think it's a hoax that in Chicago, for St. Patrick's Day, they dye the river green. Have you heard of this?
They've always done that.
I'd never heard of it. I was like, that's definitely a hoax.
No, they've always done it.
It's real.
Yeah.
I guess it was, so we were like reading about it, and it sounds like it started out like in the 50s or something as a
as a prank, and then it kept, like, as a tradition now?
Well, they were, like, using this chemical to dye the river green so that they could see where, like, extra pollution was coming from so they could clean it up. And then they were like, wait a minute, this is cool. Let's do it for St. Patrick's Day. So they just keep doing it. Yeah, okay, so you've heard of it. I don't know why I've never heard of it. We're not that far from Chicago. Well, anyway.
I can't think of her, the actress from Outlander was on a talk show, and she was saying how, like, she, obviously, it's, like, from Ireland, like, she doesn't understand a lot of, like, that it's not St. Patty's, it's St. Paddy.
Paddy.
Yeah, and she's like, it's not St. Patty, which I always say. And then what was the other thing? She was like, that corned beef and cabbage, like, isn't a thing. That's, like, an American thing.
They don't do green beer in Ireland either. Megan was like, that's ew. That's why.
So we've just, like, made up our own thing.
Yeah. So I told her, well, maybe Americans are just more Irish than Irish. I don't know.
They're there all the time, so they don't have to celebrate.
Right.
You have news.
I have news. I keep having news. So my second nibbling is here. He was not supposed to be here until the end of next month, and he came 2 months early. So he's here. It's a boy. They named him Scott after my brother. My brother's Scott, so now he's Scotty
Junior?
2. No, not Junior. Not Junior.
Uh-oh.
2, the second. And he weighs not even 5 pounds, but they're like, if he had gone full term, like, he would have been a 10-pound baby. Like, he would have been huge. So my sister-in-law, we had her baby shower last weekend. She's like, I'm so glad that he came a little bit early. So, well, he's a preemie. So he's going to be in NICU probably until, like, early April, I think. Just because he's, they have to, like, make sure he can survive on his own. But he's breathing on his own. He's regulating his own temperature. The only thing my brother said that he's hooked up to is he's got, like, a feeding tube and a heart rate monitor. But other than that, he's healthy. He's good. He's got so much hair. Oh my God. So now I have 2 nephews. I'm so excited.
Within just a few months.
I know. That's crazy.
What's the other one's name?
James. When I was sitting in the car waiting for Sarah to get her keys because she forgot them, I got a text message from my sister-in-law. James's mommy sent me a picture of James. They took him for a walk yesterday, and he had these, like, little sunglasses on. It was really cute. And he's smiling now. He's like 2.5, maybe almost 3 months old, and he can smile, and it's just the cutest. I need to go down to Columbus and visit him. We haven't actually met Scotty yet because we're not allowed in NICU. So yeah, that was news. And then I don't remember if I told you this. When we got Grandma Dottie, we weren't really sure what breed she was. We got her from the Midwest Boston Terrier Rescue. They like rescue Bostons through, like, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and maybe Kentucky. And they thought that she was probably a Boston Terrier mixed with Frenchie. Well, so we took her when I had her at the vet. Our vet is a Frenchie breeder, and I was like, do you think she's a Boston Terrier? Do you think she's got some Frenchie? She's like, no, this dog is a full Boston Terrier. So I'm like, well, now I like don't know. We need to know. So I got one of those doggy DNA test kits, and we got the results back. And what do you think? Did you see?
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay,
no.
I did post it on Instagram. So anyway, so she's 100% Boston Terrier.
Hey,
who knew? And I was like, damn it! Like, that thing cost $100 to tell me, like, what we kind of already knew. So, but yeah, that was fun.
I'm enjoying the Grandma Dottie content with, like, she'll be under the blanket on the chair. You're like, you okay in there?
Oh my God, she has to have her snoot covered all the time. She'll bury this one too.
Yep.
Just always buries it in a blanket, or, like, if she's sitting with me, she'll, like, dig it into my hip. Yeah. Oh my God, it's really cute. So if you put a blanket over it, it's like her off button. She just stops moving. Dog nibbling. So I want to remind you guys, Worldwide Knit in Public Day is June 11th. That's a Saturday. It's my birthday. And I'm planning something really fun. So save the date if you're in Cleveland and you're going to want to come out and knit with us in public. It's different than what we did last year.
Nice.
Yeah, so keep that on your calendar. So in our last episode, we talked about, in fact, the last 2 episodes were all about stash and how we organize it and what we do with it and how we all have way too much of it.
And now that you're all perfectly organized.
Right, yes. Now you're all totally organized. So I'm sure that as you were organizing, you found one skein of yarn that you're like, oh my God, what do I do with this? Well, we have some pattern ideas for you, and we're gonna do a make along. So if you've never done a make along or a knit along or a crochet along, it's kind of fun because everybody who joins, we just all make something together on like a theme at the same time. So we're going to do a one-skein make along. I can see you editing the document as I'm looking at my notes.
I was trying to make my stuff bigger because it's like this big. I don't know.
No, go ahead. No. It's just funny. There's like a little green cursor, and I'm like, oh, there's a ghost in my iPad.
It's me.
So the make along is going to run from Friday, April 1st, all through the month of April. We'll cast on, we'll start our projects together in that episode, which will be, I think, if I have my numbers correct, it'll be episode 28. It'll go all April. And then the following episode, which will be in the middle of April, we'll have half a project, and, we can share it and see how your progress is going. We'll finish by the end of April, and then in the first episode of May, we will share our progress. And we forgot to get a prize.
I can grab one.
Okay. So if you are going to join the make along, the rules are it's got to be one skein. You have to use up one skein of yarn. It can be knit or crochet, but you have to use up most of the one skein as much as you can. And then we're going to do a giveaway too, to entice you into participating with us. So you can win. We just got a prize from the prize basket. This is a skein of DK Merino by Megs Co. And the colorway is called Museum of Play. That sounds like a fun museum. So it's like a peachy coral pink with like speckles of teal and like navy blue. It's real pretty. So you'll use up a skein for, hey, where are you going? You'll use up a skein of yarn for the make along, and then we'll replenish it for you if you win. So to enter the giveaway, you will share your progress on Instagram, share a picture of your project, your finished project. I'll put all this like in Instagram or whatever, because I feel like this is confusing, but it makes more sense when it's all written down. So to enter the giveaway, you'll share a picture of your finished project with the tag one-skein MAL for make along, and tag us. We should probably have a deadline for that too. We'll say May 6th. The deadline is May 6th. So then in the May 6th episode, we'll announce a winner. We'll pick from the pool of finished projects, and you can win a skein of yarn. And use up a skein of yarn. Isn't that nice? So we went through our Ravelry favorites and picked out some cool one-skein patterns if you need some ideas.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what your one-skein? I haven't decided yet. I have options, I haven't decided.
No.
When I was looking through them, I'm like, well, this or this. But I still haven't.
I probably will make one of the patterns that I'm going to show you that I've talked about before, because it's like my go-to one-skein pattern. You might even be able to guess. I
wanted to make the DK hat you made a little while ago with the little cute edge.
Yes. I don't remember. I can't remember, but yeah, in fact, I looked at that today and I was like, oh, this would make a really good one-skein pattern.
Really good DK skeins that I was looking at, and I'm like, oh, I'd make a good hat.
Yeah. The fluid, it's It's Brethren is the fluid sock head beanie, but I can't think of what. Maybe it's just the fluid beanie.
Okay.
I'll put it in the show notes because I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a fun one.
Yeah. I've been wanting to make that since you showed it.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Show me some patterns you picked up.
Share me. I gotta scroll back. I have all my book covers.
Oh crap! I didn't get any of my pictures.
I'll start talking.
Dang
it. So my first one, which is acting funny now, is the DK Weight Vanilla Socks by Crazy Sock Lady. And these are, I was gonna say, I think these are top down, which I haven't done top down, but everyone really liked her patterns. And she was really nice. I sent her Advent and she showed it off during her podcast, which was really nice. So cool. I got a few messages from her followers like, when can I order my Advent for this year? So
are you gonna do an Advent for 2022?
But yeah, now I'm like,
do you want to?
Sooner than I would like. Yes, I need to take a breather and then I'll start planning. So it's DK Vanilla Socks. It's a free pattern, top down. So I think that was good. It looks like, a really good, if you've done fingering weight socks and want something that's going to go a little faster, I think that's a good option. Can do a few more while you get your pictures.
I think I'm ready.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So, where are my notes? So, I brought some of the patterns.
Wow. I still want to make one of these too.
This is my favorite pattern in the whole world. So I've talked about this a million times. It's the Hitchhiker by Martina Bem. This is yarn that I dyed myself.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know. I think like for a one-skein pattern, if I'm going to use, for a one-skein pattern, for me, I want to use up almost all of the whole skein. So I like patterns that are like, okay, you just knit until you just either run out of yarn or feel like you're done. You're bored of this project and you want to bite off. So this one is one of those where you cast on and you just knit until you run out of yarn, and then it's like a triangular shaped shawl, a real shallow triangle. I love how it's just so easy to wear, and it's like little, so it's not super bulky. This is fingering weight yarn. And it's a paid pattern, but you can make it in any weight yarn because, again, you're just casting on and then just knitting till you run out. I made one with 2 skeins of pashmina, Madeline Tosh pashmina, which is, I think, a sport weight yarn, and it ended up huge. And then my husband put it through the washer and dryer. So it got all pilly, but I still wear it. So that's the Hitchhiker. My favorite pattern ever. That's probably what I'll make. Maybe. I'm intrigued by DK Vanilla Socks as well. And then because I did cuff down, I'm like, well, I have to do toe up because that's what I like. So, and then this picture, come on, this picture is so cute. Does that make you want to make socks? Stripy socks.
So, Trusty Toe Up Socks by Tanis Lavely.
What's the heel on that?
It looks I don't know.
Have you made those before?
I have not, which made me want to get them and see, but that is not my normal heel. That might be the fish lips one.
Yeah.
But I do the German short row, and that's not what that is.
Yeah.
So, I do not know.
Where are you going?
There's more interesting stuff about.
I'm sorry. You can't. We're recording. So those are a top.
Sorry, those are toe
up. Okay.
But super cute. She was saying she's always done top down, but she did learn to do toe up and likes it for certain types of yarn or certain types of patterns, being when it's self-striping for some reason.
Sorry.
Oh, girl. What is this? Sad. Because you can, if you're not sure of how tall you want them, you can just keep. Oh, now we're friends. Now we're friends. Sorry. Jeez.
She gave me a nose kiss.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to growl at you. Don't give me the one.
Yeah.
Because if you go toe up, you could just knit till you like run out of yarn. If you. Not being super helpful, are you? Okay.
No, but I like it.
Okay. Well, good. So those are my socks.
Okay. Are the second ones, the stripy ones, DK, or are they fingering?
Sorry, they're fingering.
Okay.
And that's free, too. Which is why I'm going to get it and see what kind of heel that was.
Mm-hmm. What the hell? So, like, I was running errands. One errand. I had to run one errand.
It was far away.
Before we came to record our episode, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm drained. All right, my next pattern. So I wanted to find some, I was looking for a crochet pattern using worsted weight yarn, like that'll use up a whole ball of worsted weight. And so I found this, it's called a bowl cozy. It's the Cotton Bowl Cozy by Nicole Riley. And it's like, so when you go to like take your soup out of the microwave and it like the bowl like burns the shit out of your hands. This is like you make a little, I want to make sure you can see it. You make like a bowl for your bowl. It's like a pot holder that's bowl shaped.
That's adorable.
So that'll take up,
I needed that at lunch.
Yeah. It's a free pattern, and it uses one skein of cotton, either like worsted or DK yarn. Did I say it's free? It's a free one. Yeah.
Fine. Did you check out everything that needed to be checked out? Yes. Patroller of the world. My next one, I had not seen, I think this was from like 2020, but I missed this somehow, was Joji Locatelli's Venezia, which is almost like a diamond shape. It's kind of hard to see there. Mm-hmm. But there's like a really pretty edge on it, which you can't see here, of course, but
interesting. Like it's got like lace panels almost on each of the edges.
Mm-hmm. So I really like that, and I like all of her patterns that I've done, so I thought that was a good choice, and it is paid and fingering weight.
Okay. Yeah, all of her patterns are lovely, and I hear good things about her bags too. Don't you have one? Yeah, they're very luxurious. All right, here's another one that I brought with me that I made. This is the Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague, and this was like, I feel like everybody was making these. Pass inspection. Mm-hmm. Everybody's making these because it's first of all, it's like the coolest construction, and it'll use up a whole skein of yarn. So it's a fingering weight hat, dude. It's a fingering weight hat, and you start at you knit it crown to crown, and I'll show you what that means. So you start it at the crown decreases, and you increase till it's the size of a head, and then you just knit this long ass tube, and then you just keep going until you get to the other crown, and then you do crown decreases, and then you shove one end of the tube into the other end, and then it's a double thick hat, and you've used a whole skein of yarn.
Such a good design.
Yeah, and it's really warm. It's slouchy. I will say this is don't do this unless you really love stockinette, because it's a lot of stockinette, and it's kind of boring. But it's like, if you're in the car, you're watching TV, yeah, it's good for that. So this is a good one skein. I want to make another one of these. Maybe I'll make one of these. I made mine.
The yarn is great. Very sparkly.
Yeah, what is this yarn? I don't remember.
Well, it's fine.
But yeah, it's sparkly.
You can see the sparkles.
Yeah.
It's very sparkly.
Can you see the sparkles?
Maybe.
Well, You know what sparkle yarn looks like. You've seen it. Sparkle sock yarn. Musselburgh hat.
Ooh. Okay. My next one is the Nurmalintu by Heidi Allender. And I did not know this designer. And the first picture of it I didn't think was as nice as, of course, I'm a purple person, so I had to go farther
That's
down.
so cute.
It has like a nice little edge on it. Ooh.
Garter stitch?
Yep.
I love garter.
So it's super cute. And it is fingering and a free pattern.
Oh,
too.
nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have a cowl that I found, and I was like, oh shit, I want to make that. So the Free for All cowl by Jen Peck uses up a skein of worsted or DK, and it's free. And it looks like this. Stupid lights.
I know.
There we go. It's just got like a sort of lacy, like chevron texture. I don't know. I just thought it looked really cool. I love cowls. I think you must knit it. I didn't look at the pattern, but I think you probably knit it like you start at one end, knitting it flat, and then seam the two ends together to make a cowl. If I had to guess, that's how it looks like. It's got an I-cord edge, which I love. I want to make everything.
I know. Now that we're doing this, I'm like, wait, maybe I do need to make this other thing.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, my next one's Rosewater by Janina Calio. And I mean, this is super, super pretty.
Her patterns are gorgeous.
I mean, it's really pretty. I don't know how, I don't think it's...
Double yarn overs, maybe?
They're, really big holes.
Big holes in
and
the lace.
And especially that, it's one skein.
Wow, that looks like more than... That looks like a two skeiner.
Yeah, it's not.
I brought one of her patterns. I forgot to write it down, but I brought it with me. It's not blocked. So this is, not only is it not blocked, but the ends aren't woven in. This is the Ardent shawl, and this also is one skein. And it's just like garter stitch in this fun, it's got like stripes of like mesh.
That's great.
Yeah. I've made a bunch of these too. It's fun for gifts because one skein. And obviously it gets way bigger once you like block the shit out of it. But yeah, all of her patterns, I think she does a lot of one skein shawls that are like garter and then simple lace and just different combinations of those two elements. And all her shawls, they're so pretty.
Fingering and it's paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this one. It's also fingering in a paid pattern. This pattern, I was knitting it last summer at my parents' house, and we learned that hummingbirds really like the color red because I'd be sitting on my dad's deck, and every time I pulled this out, like hummingbirds would dive bomb my head.
They would think it's a flower.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It was really funny, but also it felt very dangerous. Hummingbirds are scary. They're vicious.
She would take care
I know
of
you
for
know. You know. Is it my turn now? Did that
yeah,
count as
Yep,
one?
I'm done.
Okay. What is next? How about a baby sweater? You could knit a baby sweater with one skein of yarn. So the Flax Light Sweater by Tin Can Knits is the baby size uses one skein of fingering. Obviously the adult versions are more, but look at him.
A kid.
Look at this guy. So cute. And I believe the flax, so the flax is like, it's like mostly stockinette with, there's like some garter stitch details on the shoulders. Did I say it was free? I think it's a free pattern. Lost my notes. God damn it.
Yeah, you said it's free.
It is free. Okay. But I think it's part of their like learn to knit pattern series. So it's really easy, and the directions are really simple, and there's lots of resources and tutorials and whatever. So cute. That'll use up a skein of yarn.
Cute models.
Mm-hmm. So cute. I want to make sweaters for my nibblings. Do you have any more?
Tough. Nope.
Okay, I got one more because I have to plug my own pattern.
Yeah.
So it's not a one skein pattern, it's a 2 skein pattern. But if you're desperate to use up 2 skeins of yarn, you could make the Cleveland shale shawl. Because it's one of those ones where you start at one end and you just knit until you run out of yarn. I would say, so it's like, this is DK. You could do worsted. You might even be able to do fingering, but you'd have to adjust the pattern. Otherwise, you'll just get a scarf. But yeah, it's fast. I would say at least 2 skeins of DK. You could do 3, you could do 4. What are you doing under there? And it's free. And I made it. And it's got Sarah's yarn. This is Sarah's yarn that she dyed. Oh, so there's your one skein, some ideas for your one skein patterns. So in the next episode, and get your yarn ready, pick your pattern, and then we'll cast on together in the next episode. I need another project. Like I need a hole in my head, but whatever. It's fine. I like make-alongs. They're fun.
Wait, we're casting on I thought we were casting on Friday. Or is that, I'm so confused. What's today? No, you're right. Next episode.
Yeah.
And then the following episode, we're showing progress. And the one
yes. I'll put a little calendar. It'll all be in the show notes.
It's farther along than March than it is.
What's today? The 6th. Today's the 16th. This episode's coming out on the 18th.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it now.
Technically, you and I are going to have to cast on a little bit sooner than they will, because they'll see it that Friday. We'll have casted on like already 3 days.
But that's why I was like,
extra days.
Got it now.
Okay. And you can always, if you're like, what the hell are you people talking about? You can send us a message. You know where we are. Leave a comment or find us on Instagram. We're around. We'll answer your questions. Oh, there's a hashtag too. I'll put that in the show notes also. It'll be hashtag # or whatever. ONE skein MAL. Make along MAL. One skein Mal. I'll put it on the screen. Okay, you have to stop.
Yeah, this is too much.
You have to stop. I know.
So I'd started this a while ago, but I got... Oh, yeah. So, I'm basing this on the vanilla extract, which is the first pair of socks I did by Rizza Knits. This is the Fiber Seed Sprout DK in the color Neon Lights. And I'm going to do little shorties. So yeah. I've already split the ball. So when I was using your skein coat, it's so good. And it's actually, so I probably have enough to do a regular size one, but I think I am going to do a little shorty. So I tried it on last night and it's not tall enough yet. So I'm going to do a few more regular rows and then maybe 10 or 12 ribbing rows. But it's turning out so cute.
I just love that yarn. It's so fun. The speckles are so good.
I know. And I'm very proud of my heel.
You said you'd like to do a German short row heel?
Yeah. I found a video that I just love, and it's a German short row, and I really, it's not hard, and I really like it. So, and then it's a Judy's Magic cast on for the toe. So I'm excited. So if I can finish that, I can do the other one.
Nice.
I have some springy socks once I'm ready to give up my big hiking wool socks. So that's what I've been working on.
That's what you've been working on?
I want to hear about your stuff. Oh my
God. So I'll show you my finished object first, because I finished something and you guys are going to shit when I show you that I finished some socks.
Oh my God.
I started these in the summer of 2020 for a make-along by Summerlee Knits and, I can't remember her name, Rizza Rochelle Alpine, she's a children's author. We're doing a sock knit along. And I was like, I want to join the sock knit along. These are top down. I did like the cuff and a couple rows of the heel. And I was like, ow, my hands hurt. This is boring. And I put it away and I didn't touch it until like 3 weeks ago. So I started working on them again, just on a whim. And one of the things I realized that if you don't have nice needles, you're not going to enjoy whatever you're making.
Or knitting
right. Yeah. So I had these, I was using Knitter's Pride, a pair of Knitter's Pride 32-inch or maybe 40 fixed circular needles in a size 0. And they were brass and they made my hands smell. Like I don't know. So they were like uncomfortable. They were so little. They're uncomfortable to hold. The cord.
I've used some brass ones before.
Yeah, the cord was like really. It would just stay all curled up. My hands would smell weird. So it's just like not a nice experience. So I got a pair of Chowgu needles and it changed everything. And it like made it so much just nicer in my hands. It just felt better. Like knitting is, I feel like, supposed to feel. It's just that like comforting, I don't know.
You're not fighting with it.
Yeah. So
they're just adorable.
Thanks. Oh yeah, the yarn is by I Feel Like Dying. I don't know if she's active anymore. But she is on Instagram, so I'll tag her. So fun. These are
super fun.
Yeah. These are Summerlee Knits, the Palm Squad socks that are part of her first shorty sock set. The other thing I realized is that I like shorty socks. I prefer to wear shorty socks, and they're so much faster to knit. So I'm like, I finished these, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to make another pair immediately. So I haven't even worn these yet, because I wanted to I wanted them to like look nice and blocked for our episode. So I don't actually even know if they're gonna fit.
So tell me, is this like a design element, or is this because of the arch? Is this like to tighten up the arch?
It's like an arch support panel.
So cute.
And it's just, it matches the heel. It's just slip stitches all the way around. Mm-hmm.
I love it. And what kind of heel?
It's a heel flap, a slipped stitch heel flap, and a gusset, which turns out I hate. I don't like the heel flap. I don't like picking up the stitches. So so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try a different sock method.
So stunning.
Thanks. I'm excited to wear them. Because I like I said, I like shorty socks. I like bright colors. So
you're a sock knitter.
Oh my God, I know, right? It's like I was like, immediately I have to cast on another pair of socks. So this is hard to see because people are like, if you hate knitting socks, why are you doing them 2 at a time? Like, why are you knitting on hard mode? Because I won't finish them otherwise, or I'll finish one. So these are. It's just a vanilla sock. Oh, I'll tell you what. A friend of mine sent me this pattern. She's like, this is the heel that I use because I also hate knitting socks. She's like, it's the heel for non-sock knitters. So the pattern is the Socksploration Shadow Wrap Heel by Denise DeSantis. And there's like this big long video about how to do it. And it's a short row heel. And I liked it a lot better.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Look at you already done with the heel.
Well, yeah, like once you get through the fiddly, like if you can just get through the heel, it's not that bad. And they're short. I made them shorties. So this yarn is Yarn Habits, who I don't think is active either. And Superfine Yarn Co. Mini skein from the 2021 Advent Kit. Yeah, so I've got an ankle and a heel. I don't know, can you guys even see? It's hard to show off. It kind of looks like a sock, I guess.
It does.
Yeah.
And are you having any trouble? I had trouble with 2 at a time, like these having a runner like down the side. It doesn't look like you do, so it's great. They look so good.
Thanks. Yeah, so, and, people kept telling me, if you hate knitting socks, just try different methods.
Yeah, there's different.
Try toe up if you don't like top down. Try a different heel. Try a different toe, whatever. And I'm like, no, I just hate socks. Well, then I finished these, and
I always said I hated
was
socks.
Right.
Tell me the toe of this too.
What would you like to know about it?
How you did it.
So it's just, you knit the long part of the foot, and then when you get to the toes, you just decrease every other round till you get to half the stitches, and then you Kitchener. You just have to seam the
How is Kitchener?
It's not. I mean, it's not. I hate it.
Okay, it's tricky. Yeah,
yeah.
I did it for the bear's ears for the tops, and it looks really, really good.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, again, it's like a fiddly finishing thing that nobody really loves to do, but you do it because you want to wear your socks and have a finished project,
right?
So my nibblings here, little jerk, came before I could finish his blankie. I'm so tangled up. Making progress, though. I'm on the 3rd skein of yarn on this one. This is the Tessellation Baby Blanket by Meg Croft Designs. And it's really fun. And I highly recommend it. One of our viewers, at least I think she's a viewer, Katie, is making one of these too. And she really likes it. So if you like garter stitch, this is a good one because it's just got a little bit of pearls on the wrong side. But otherwise, it's mostly garter. And the other thing I'm working on that I meant to bring last time and I forgot.
Oh, I want to see this.
My scrappy magic scrappy ball.
So cute.
What do you call this? A shawl. Uh-oh, we haven't even done books yet, and I'm starting to forget how to talk.
Words.
So I think up until this hot pink, so from the top all the way to the hot pink is the skein of scrappy yarn that my friend made me, and then starting after the pink to the end is all of mine because I made my own ball. Yeah, it's really fun.
And tell me how do you connect them to make the ball?
You make
the invisible. Is it like the knot thing?
Yes, the one where
this one.
That's the one.
Technical here.
But it is. It's like you tie a knot around one strand, and then you tie a knot around the other strand, and then pull them. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And then normally when you do that join, they tell you to snip the ends. But these I've just been crocheting right over them. Ooh. So then you don't even have to weave anything in. What is in my Dottie hair or Phyllis hair? Ripley hair?
Could be all of the above.
Are you comfy? So that's my project.
It's nice. You are killing it.
Yeah,
so now you got to wear the socks around. I want to hear if they're comfy.
Okay. I've made socks before. I've made hand knit socks before, and I didn't really like wearing them. But I wear them, just they're like my comfy kicking around the house socks as opposed to wearing them out and about. But I suspect they were too big, and so they're looser. Apparently, and no one told me this, socks are supposed to have 1 or 2 inches of negative ease. And I had no idea. So that they suck to your feet better. So those yellow and green ones I'm making now are smaller. So hopefully they'll fit better.
So this is a sparkle. This is First Date. So kind of purpley mauvey with some red, some orange, green. There's a little bit of everything.
Oh yeah, the green is almost gray when it mixes with the that mauve color.
So that's a nice one.
Pretty.
And then
are these on the site yet?
They are on the site.
Okay.
And then Earth Angel, which is that's Sparkle, and then this is Entice Sock, which is next up 80/20. So this is kind of like earthy, Browns, a little bit of beige, not browns, but like grays, beige, a little bit of green, a little bit of blue.
Nice. I love this like olive yellowy green color.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Will she take your yarn? Does she like want to play with it?
She never really has, but I don't like people like knit with like their like sitting in like an open basket, and that's tempting. I know I'll walk back in, I'll be like strewn around. So she hasn't, but she definitely could. She snagged one of my shawls when I was wearing it, just by accident, but no, she hasn't like totally destroyed anything.
That's good. Dottie stole, I think, a skein of like one of the half skeins on these socks. Because I had them like laid when I was making them. I had them like laid on the floor in front of my screen door because it had the best light. And she was like, "Oh, this is a ball shaped object on the floor. This. It must be mine. I will just have this." And I didn't know. I didn't notice until because I had the socks in my hand and they were like something was pulling because she was pulling my yarn. It was really cute. Dogs. There's still something.
Fiber.
All right. Anyway,
what do you have?
What do I have? So I this year am working so hard. I want to make my Patreon, the pin club, the pin and sticker and flare club, just the most kick-ass flare club ever. So I have put out a little survey. It's just like a Google form survey with like 3 different questions because I want to know what kind of rewards are most valuable to you. Because I found out this one of the rewards I've been including for the past year and a half is new monthly digital wallpapers, like for your phone or your computer or whatever. And come to find out that nobody gives a shit about those. So like every month I'm like, oh my God, I got to get the wallpapers out, but nobody's downloading them. So I'm like, maybe I should just ask everybody, like, what do you want? What is, if you don't care about wallpapers, that's fine. I won't do wallpapers. What would you like instead? Do you want, like free mystery stickers in your packages every month? Do you want more coupons? Do you want, more behind the scenes special Phyllis videos? I mean, so I've got this survey on, I'll put a link in the show notes. But if you've ever been a patron or you've ever thought about being a patron, I want to hear your thoughts because that'll help me make my Patreon even more kick-ass than it already is. Oh, and there's a giveaway. It's an anonymous survey, so you can be as mean as you want. But if you if you leave your email address, it'll enter you into a giveaway. I'm going to give away a $20 gift card to my shop for merch or patterns. To thank you for taking the time to leave your feedback. So I got the, what month is it? The March Flare. And this is the last month of the Sea Creatures, designs. And this is the introverted hermit crab. Here's a sticker. He's introverted as fuck. And then the pin just came the other day. And I just love it. It turned out really good. He's a little shiny guy. I hope you can see it. Yeah. So if you're a patron, anytime during the month of March, these will be going into the mail at the beginning of April. And then in April, we start the Sweet Treats theme. And the first one is the donut, and it says, "Donut, talk to me." And every time I was like working on that design, I was thinking about that. In a past episode, you got an embroidery kit that said, "I don't care" or something, and I was like, "Oh, 10 care." Yeah, Christine. So that's it for merch, I think. Let me look at my notes in case I forgot anything.
Earrings.
Oh, earrings. Yeah, I'm making earrings now. There's some earrings on my site. I have one more pair of these shamrock earrings. But now you're like, if you buy them, they're St. Patrick's Day will be over by the time you see this, so that will not help you very much. You should have bought them 2 weeks ago when I started posting about them on Instagram. But there's some other fun ones. I've got like lightning bolts, and I will have yarn ball ones. I just have to I have to like change the size. I made them way too big. So it's like a huge ass yarn ball. So I gotta fix that, and then I'll have some fun yarn ball earrings. So those are on my site. Now I'm ready for books. Right. What have you been reading?
Oh my gosh. All, well, not quite Regency, but all historical. Mm-hmm. Oh, so first one, I needed like, I had a few like duds, and I was like, I need something that I know is going to be good, and who do I know is going to deliver? Beverly Jenkins.
Always.
So, I mean, come on with this cover.
Beautiful cover.
Tell me this is not amazing. Rebel. And this is, I did it on audio, which was good. I tried she has multiple audio narrators. And I tried one, I think it was Midnight or Nighthawk, and I didn't love the narration. This, so good. And actually, one other one I'd listened to was the same narrator. It was great.
Will you show the cover again?
Oh, yeah, I will.
I just want to know, what do you think? Do you think his abs are real? Or are they painted on? Really spectacular.
They're very, like, defined.
His fucking hair in my mouth. What? Oh, I think I got it. Okay.
So, this is post-Civil War, and she is from the North, but she's in the South in Louisiana, teaching school, teaching adults to read, and there's a lot of like strife in this. I wouldn't say it's like a normal, like you learn a lot about history. You learn just a lot about like that time period and rebuilding. And she goes through like some tough kind of stuff. Like she's teaching, and she's having a really hard time. You're supposed to get like a stipend for teachers. She's not able, she goes and she stands in line. She's not able to like get it. People come and like use the school, like drink at the school and like kind of trash everything. She gets like accosted on the street. So there's a lot that she's going through, and she's trying to tough it out. And God, he has a really good name and I'm blanking on it. Meets him. He's from a big New Orleans family. So he's with like his sister-in-law, I think, helps her out. And it's really sweet. Like she goes, she like gets kicked out of her boarding house. He offers her a place to live with his mom on like where they live. And he's just a sweetheart, and the whole extended family is really nice, and I know like they'll be in the other books, which is great. And it's kind of like a gentle, it's not like super hot sexy romance. It's kind of like slow burn. Everything else is kind of more important. It's like them learning to trust each other. Her father wants her to marry like 5 years ago. She should have been married. What's she doing teaching? And there's like an arranged marriage with a guy from her hometown. So there's a lot to it. I really enjoyed it. I just can't say enough about it. I feel like I'm not selling it as well as
No, you are.
Okay.
I think I met Beverly Jenkins a couple years ago when I was doing, I went to the Researching the Romance conference. This was when I was a romance novel editor, and I met Beverly Jenkins. She was like the keynote speaker at this little convention at Bowling Green University, because they have a pop culture library.
You mentioned that one, yeah,
which has a whole romance section. So the library put on this convention, and Beverly Jenkins was talking, and I remember her talking about how like she does, she's a romance writer, but she works really hard to like make her books historically accurate and get really into like the history part of it, and she finds that fascinating. And so all of her stories are about like real periods of history and like real things that happened, and to the people that lived in those times. And that makes me want to read that book. That sounds really interesting.
And anything she writes. It was amazing. She was on Fated Mates, is doing interviews with romance authors who've been around a little while. And she was a librarian at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. And one of her coworkers was writing romance, and she was like, no. And it's really, like, her story is so interesting that she, you know, it took a while for it to happen. It's just, it's very interesting.
I would read that book just based on the cover alone.
I mean,
like, I don't really need to know anything about it.
I just, yeah. She's the best. So that's my first one.
Okay. Will you take 5 seconds and find his name for me? Because you said it was interesting, and now I want to know what it is.
Drake Levesque.
Ooh.
So, sorry, Captain Drake Levesque. So last name LEVEQ. So the whole family is the Levesques of like New Orleans. So come on, like, yeah, Drake, and just so good. I have not read this. This cover to me is like super stunning. Like, look at that one. I mean, so that's on my list too.
Beautiful. Come on. Love a good cover. So good. When I was editing romance novels, I started collecting romance novels, like I like the old 80s ones with the clinch covers. I'll have to, maybe one day sorry, Jesus, you are so picky. I'll have to bring my collection, although if we've done some TikToks and stuff with them, with my covers, romance novels. Because, yeah, they're so beautiful. And, like, you know, the artwork and the paintings and the clinching, it's just, they're wonderful. So we had talked about The Bride Test by Helen Huang in a previous episode. I don't remember which. Have you read it yet?
I read the other one. I didn't read Bride Test.
I recently read The Bride Test, and I have to say I was a little bit disappointed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the first one is the Kiss Quotient. That one, like,
oh my gosh,
blew
with the escort.
Oh my god, that one is so good. So I had really high hopes for The Bride Test, and it was good. Like, you know, it was fine. The characters were really good. There were some sexy parts, and you know, but it just didn't hit the same way as the Kiss Quotient. I still recommend it, but I would recommend going in, temper your excitement a little bit. So I read that. I'm not going to tell you what it's about because I can't remember. And I didn't write it down at all. And yeah, you can look it up. I'll put the link for you. All right, what you got?
Something Fabulous by Alexis Hall. And he wrote the boyfriend material or boyfriend. It was like did really well, okay. I think, before this one. So this is pretty new. And then I found, looking at his Instagram, I found fan art, which I thought was a little better than the cover. So I like this fan art.
He's got a little flower in his ear.
And there's a little scene with a bee, so he's got a little bee on him. So just absolutely adorable Regency. I can't find my Regency romance, gay. One is a duke, supposed to marry the other one's sister, and just like really insults her by his proposal. Just pretty much, you're supposed to marry me. Let's just do this. I'm a duke. Like, she runs away, like, in a carriage screaming because it was so insulting, and she doesn't want to throw her life away on somebody who isn't passionate. So the brother storms in. Duke? I know.
I mean.
So he's arrogant. So it was like Grumpy Sunshine. So the brother runs in the room, gets him out of bed. We're going to go run after my sister because you treated her wrong, you know, all this. So there's everything in this. There is we get to the one cottage where there's one bed. There's, carriage chases. There's duels. It has everything.
Oh my goodness.
It's the banter is adorable. Love just it. Between them. And the Duke, he doesn't really, you know, he's kind of baffled by this guy who's just like lives his life and is just kind of like effervescent and enjoys so much of life, whereas he always had this like, I have to, you know, have these things I have to do and please everyone, and just is just like blown over by this guy, and it's super sweet. I loved it.
That sounds really cute. Have you ever read any Georgette Hare?
Yes.
Okay, because I was going to say, it sort of reminds me of that with the carriage chases and the shenanigans and the whatever. But Georgette Hare is it's heterosexual always, and very. Is this a steamy book?
It is. I was just gonna say it is. So beware. He walks in. He hasn't really thought much about like his own sexuality, and then he walks in on him with like a groomsman, and he can't stop thinking about it. And like later, he's like, "What do you want?" I want to do what you were doing with my groomsman. Which is so cute. Yeah. But yeah, it's
okay. Because Georgette Hare, I mean,
no, it's like very behind
kissing.
Doors. Yeah. No.
Well, speaking of steamy romance, so this month for my Discord book club, we are reading two of my favorite books ever. The first one is Ravished by a Viking by Delilah.
Have you read it yet?
Oh my God, I've read it so many times.
Oh, I love the cover.
So it's by Delilah Devlin. I first read this book. I found it at the library, and I was like, this looks hilarious. I'm going to read this as a joke. And it ended up being one of my favorite books ever, but it also introduced me to the wonders of erotica. This book is I'm not even going to be able to tell you about it because it's so like I'm going to blush. It's so steamy. It's so the sex is so graphic. Like it's just, there's group sex. There's just voyeurism. There's a little light BDSM. Like it's just, there's everything in this book. Plus space Vikings. So I'm like, you guys, you have to read this book with me. It's the best. Oh my God, it's so good. So if you want to read it with us next week on Wednesday, the 23rd, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to meet on Discord. In order to get into Discord, though, you have to be a patron. So I'll leave the link for that. You can sign up. The cheapest tier is the tip jar. We're going to have a video chat about Ravished by a Viking. Please, if you've never read erotica, do it, but like be cautioned that it's graphic. It's like porn. When they talk about romance being porn for women, like this is it's so good. Also, as I'm like reading it, I've read this a bunch, but it came out in 2011, and I'm finding that there's some stuff that's not holding up as well as I thought. Like there's really a lot of, not misogyny exactly, not sexism, but it's like, women are supposed to be, you're supposed to be warm and vulnerable and gentle, and I'm the big burly Viking man and I will take care of you and whatever. Like, so I don't know. It's hard to tell if that's like, because
the type of book.
Yeah, because like that's the character. So I don't know. The guy, his name is Dagger, Dagr, because he's a Viking. I mean, space Viking.
Come on.
Yeah. So he's the Black Wolf. And he's totally an alpha male. If you know what an alpha male is, it's like, some people are like, no, I cannot read books with an alpha male because I just want to punch everything. But I like it. So there's that. Ravished by a Viking.
I've got one more.
Okay.
The Siren of Sussex, which this is pretty new.
Another cute cover.
When I saw this come out, I was like, okay. Great. Different. I really liked it. She is really into horses, and her sister made like not advantageous, like she was supposed to make, go to her season in London, they live in the country, make a great match, and then all of the other sisters could follow along and make good matches. That didn't happen. So it's on her to go to London, and she's more like a blue stocking, really a great horsewoman. So she figures the best way for her to make a match is to look stunning on her horse, and in wherever you go through that park, you just sit on your horse and look pretty. that's the way she's going to snag a husband, because it's not going to be through dancing or, you know, witty banter. It's just not her thing. So in the papers, there's like a group of courtesans who are like taking the world by storm because there's a new designer making their riding habits, and they're just a different style from what's going on. And she's like, I'm gonna have him make my habits, and then I'm gonna be fashionable. And even though they're like not like racy, but they're just different, they're not like this like style you have to have. So he's of Indian descent, and he like, so there's a little bit about like his past and like breaking into society, like some of the, because these are courtesans, like he's considered, you know, not like able to design for like ladies yet. So but that's his, like what he's trying to get to is to have like a really successful business. He works under these other men, and just has to do a lot of men's clothes, which aren't like as interesting to him. So she comes in and, you know, wants, you know, a new wardrobe, and he helps her, and they have like an instant spark, and both are struggling in their own ways in the world, and it's lovely.
It sounds lovely. That's a lovely it's a romance, yes?
It's a romance. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like I would love a riding habit, like, and to like ride side saddle, like that's just sounds so fun.
There's a lot, since it's his craft. Like there's a lot of talk about like how he's cutting it to like to her, like show off her advantages and stuff like that, that you would never think, like, because you're riding side saddle, how it like lay, you know, how the fabric like lays on the side of the horse. It's really, really nice.
I love, like, that's one of the reasons I love historical romance and just history in general, is the pretty dresses. The other book we're reading this month, because we're like in my book club, we're like, we should probably read something that is more accessible to people who don't want to read porn. So we're also reading Bridget Jones's Diary, if you've ever read this, or it was published in 98.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, right. It made me feel really old. And I'm going to try to put together a movie night where we like can all watch the movie on our screens and like do voice chat. If I can figure out how to do it, we're going to do that. So it is
really funny that Colin Firth is Mr. Darcy.
Yeah.
And he's Mr. Darcy. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And he's pretty good in that. He's trying to be.
He is. Yeah. I haven't seen this movie in forever, but it's one of my favorites. And I've read this book a bunch of times. The gist of it is, there's Bridget Jones. She's like a, you know, I'm not going to say middle age. She's like, I don't know, 30 or something. Kind of chubby, like British woman. And she's just trying to find love. And it's her diary. And it's written as a diary. And it's funny and it's silly and it's lighthearted. And I don't know. I think that it would probably be classified as chick lit.
Yeah, rom-com.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, rom-com.
His name's Mark Darcy.
Right. Yeah, she gets involved with Mark Darcy, this fucking asshole at her
parents' like Christmas party.
Yeah, he's like a lawyer, and her parents are pushing him at her because, oh, you're an old maid, you need to get married or whatever. I think it sort of follows. Help me. Jane Austen.
Pride and Prejudice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like a modern day Pride and Prejudice if Elizabeth was like a modern woman who's kind of clumsy. So there's that. That's our other book. Oh, shit.
There's a good, I don't know if it's in the book, but there's a good cooking scene in the movie where she's trying to cook and she doesn't have twine to like wrap around whatever it is she's cooking, so she uses yarn, and it was like red, and then it turned like the whole soup like red. And it's really funny.
And then super hot asshole Mark Darcy comes and he eats it. So cute. I think at one point she watches the Pride and Prejudice with Mark Darcy in the book. It's like very, very meta. I have read a million other books, but I think 3 is certainly enough. We've talked about a lot like, today.
Duds. So
yeah,
I
like
talk about duds.
Yeah, I know. I have been in sort of a reading slump too. I've like started and abandoned a bunch of books.
Even people I really like and sequels to books I've liked.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Maybe is Mercury in retrograde? Is that a thing that like would affect our book reading? Because yeah, it's been, I don't know. I feel like reading is in waves. You'll be like, you can't stop reading all these amazing books, and then it sort of tapers off, and you just like are reading crap all the time.
I agree.
And then it'll come back. And
was shaking it up. I'll show you my cover to my new one, which is still romance, but it's a canine rescue.
Ooh. He has beautiful arms.
And a beautiful German Shepherd.
Oh yeah, right.
The first scene, they go into like obviously like search and rescue. Mm-hmm. So they have to practice how to jump out of planes. So the first scene is like how you strap the dog to you safely and jump out of a plane.
Oh my goodness,
it's a good start.
Again, that's another book I would read just for the cover.
That's why I picked it.
Yep. That's why I picked Ravished by a Viking all those years ago. I was like, this is hilarious. I'm going to try it. And then it ended up being really good. And like, you think of erotica, backtracking. You think of erotica as like all about the sex and like, you know, the sex scenes. And that's all it is. It's just
gotta have
boinking one after the other. But this book actually has a plot and like it's kind of interesting, and you know it's like space Vikings and space travel, and
it makes
so
the boinking better.
Right. Yeah, it's like a legitimately good book. And then there's boinking. All right. Well, anything else?
No.
Okay, cool. Me neither. We will see you in 2 weeks. Remember to get your yarn ready for the make along, the one-skein make along. Make sure you subscribe. We always appreciate that. Tell your friends about us if you love this episode, and we will see you soon. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.